Yeah, it's a long pass from Makele all the way from defense, which was
long-range effort. The player just leaning over a little bit as he struck it. Mistaking defense. Christian Siwelele is a man who accepts those sort of gifts, and oh my goodness me, you got to put your foot much more convincingly on the ball, Magidi, than that little tap.
He dashes forward. I'm sure he could have done some damage with the creative ball into the center where Makidi was.
Margaman gets away from Klangabeza, gets a return pass here, and the defense stands its ground from Tariq Phillies.
Siwelele on top of this game. They have AmaZulu under all sorts of problems.
Assistant referee in your picture, Oscar Tsotetsi, corner again, swerves in towards Darren Johnson. Nice catch again. Does get himself into some good positions, does Darren Johnson.
Good feet.
Bit of a knock on the head from Kokozo. Nearly finds Elmo Kambindu with a touch through. Finds Makele. Good switch outside to Bogisa Sanoka, and that allows Mfolozi to make a bit of ground up the far side touchline. No offside here against Christian Siwelele. Krank Margaman. Little touch into the middle. Space and time! Khapi Moralo couldn't make it count with
creating a bit of weed with Siwelele picking up, playing as an inverted, and with Moralo pushing that much high to be able to be in a position to take a direct shot. That is now Siwelele looking even better, who has been similarly a team that is hard to beat, but for Siema to come and actually get the 3 points against them was amazing.
Rapu trying to be amazing as well. Beg your pardon, Rapu trying to do the defensivism. Makokolo, who's doing fantastic work on the right hand side. Doing a lot of early running here is Christian Siwelele, and there's space in the penalty area. Just enough work there done by the centre-back Santili Mtetwa. Booster for Siwelele by 3-1 on the 9th of August with Makidigidi's brace. Botswana in the meantime trying to line something up with Khapi Moralo, but sleeping on the ball. You've got to react a little bit quicker than that, Mr. Siwelele. But not even in the matchday squad today. Phillies forward, Byrne, not with a great first touch, managed to wrestle himself past Markama. Not many people do that. Now Elmo Kambindu, Bindu caught from behind. No foul, says the referee. Sanoka manages to escape from the Namibian striker.
Now, was the case of Zanziga being too far from the action?
Siwelele twisting and turning, looking for Markama. Look at the space available to Grant here. Drill it into that penalty area. Johnson in a collision with Morale.
The passes and controlling the game.
Rudebe gets inside Rapu. Klangabeza! Kampindu. Makokolo loses patience, and I think maybe a little touchback. Sometimes we criticize strikers.
Pretty much in a position where there is a picks up here, but instead he decides to bring it across to Kambindu.
But isn't this the increasing positivity closer to half-time here from an AmaZulu who were really on the back foot for the opening half an hour?
It is taking
them
40 minutes.
Growing.
It is taking them about
a little look up, and there's time still for an opportunity. It doesn't quite fall for either Kambindu or for Makokolo. A plan B and a plan C for Coach Lekolo Siema. Are we going to see much of the same during the second half? Because what we've seen in the first half hasn't worked. Maybe it does. Siwelele. And I'll tell you what, Tariq Phillies did a good job. He was looking one way and then the other, and I think eventually Johnson coming up with a good save against the Congolese striker. Now there's a chance here for Makokolo. No offside flag. Second goal of the season in the Betway Premiership for Makokolo, scored.
Pointed. It takes this long pass. It's a squeezy pass to set Makokolo through, and I guess Rapo, the left full back, was left wanting here, ball watching. He doesn't see Makokolo, who squeezes just behind him, and that lobbed beauty.
I like the way he angled his body, and he just like opened it up, and almost Ricardo Goss had to go pick one way or the other. He went to his right hand side, Goss, and the ball was curled around him. Makiti back-to-back goals in back-to-back matches for Makiti against Sekekuni United and against Stellenbosch FC, and now in Kosekona Radebe gets away. Not quite the quality ball, but I think Elmo Kampindu was a little guilty in having run a little bit too far forward. Feelies deep over the halfway line. Radebe, there's space in the middle of the park here. Nobo wants to pull the trigger. There's still a bit of space available, but an easy save at the end of the day for Ricardo Goss. Well, I'll tell you what, AmaZulu have come out in the second half. What did you call it last time we were at Kings Willetini? On fire.
Guns blazing.
Guns blazing.
It's another maybe term that you can use just to show the intent of AmaZulu. But SuperSport have not been left out of it as well with the changes that are made. I mean, Siwelele, in as far as for me, the intention is to try and make a comeback here. It's not like they played bad. Obviously, the one portion of their display was in front of goal that really was disappointed, and they've made the necessary changes in offense to try and correct that. Just how soon will that happen? That's why we invite you to stay with us. It might take the whole 45 minutes to happen. It might happen sooner. You don't want to miss it.
Johnson finds Feelies. I almost thought that pass should have gone wider to Ngobo the first time from Feelies, but decided to pick out his fellow defender in his captain Rian Hanamoob, and he got himself into a spot of bother. Maliela Pule, calling Vincent as well, man who's played at Betway and also at Orlando Pirates. Scored a goal this season along with Magidi, who scored a brace against Golden Arrows in match number 1. Pule also got on the score sheet there. Hlangabeza.
In the absence of Mbacho in that centre of the middle, Hlangabeza has been brilliant. I mean, AmaZulu have continued just to introduce youngsters that are growing with their game in leaps and bounds.
Oh, lovely control over the ball here again by Mankokolo, shepherded by Makele, but still AmaZulu pile on the pressure. Hlangabeza again. Ngobo nearly getting on the inside of the Siwelele defender. In fact, I think it was, and these were Mfolozi who was sleeping a little. One has to say that the momentum switch was monumental for AmaZulu in the final 10 minutes of the first half. Byrne gets in the way of the attempted clearance from Makuwane. Away by Sanoka. Byrne again starting to grow in confidence, and the young Cape Townian in possession here. Hendrik Eckstein giving himself some space. Great piece of defending from Neo Rapu. Byrne has increased his work rate, keeps Potsani under wraps. Eckstein, oh, it's a lovely space for Eckstein. I thought he might have pulled the trigger, and maybe even Makokolo might have.
Because in the sense that if you're so close, you don't need so much power. You just need to try and place it, and that's what he could have done here. And he tries to force his right foot, which doesn't quite turn up on that moment.
Johnson looking for the flick on from Tepoko Mashiko. One-on-one! He took his time! That's great defending from Pakiso Sonoka, but there should have been a second goal for Atini Makokolo. Lovely ball to Makokolo.
Ace! Now he's thinking about it. He's looking at the goalkeeper, and a bit of a nudge from Sanoka was that's why even as an attacking player you got to build yourself a bit of a shell.
That was on a plate. Bit of in-house competition between those two players. Malele Pule with a nice touch as well, and Magidi, who's had a quiet second half so far, finds Marhaman. Potsani. It's a good block from Hlangabeza. Turn from Mtetra. Mankokolo Now there's a bit of space available for AmaZulu once again, but is there support in the middle of the park more for Mashiko and companies? Oh goodness me, space for Liam Byrne, and he ran too far onto it.
To be a bit composed, he still had an opportunity to get a second touch, and he's not a left-foot player. He forces with his left.
That's a nice little return of the pass as well, and an even better one forward by Makawani, and the defence is exquisite from the AmaZulu defender and Kosi corner. Crowd here, the partisan crowd, hold their collective breath, and that was the right option.
Atazorn has helped a number of young stars at Kaiser Chiefs to develop into the first team, so he's going by that value.
Malcolm gives the ball away, and the defence is under pressure here. More than that, a mistake by Grant Malcolm. AmaZulu pull the trigger for the second time, and for the second time in the match we see that celebration from Atini Makokolo. Fourth goal of his career at AmaZulu.
Now Markman, as he tries to clutch this ball through here, can't give it away. Again, one pass, and Makele here, he's hoping to use his weight, but misses that shoulder charge to put Makokolo off. And that boy, because he's slippery, he gets the opportunity to slide it past the goalkeeper.
And this time he pulls the trigger first time, and that celebration is almost like Samir Nurkovic seems to be the possibility of making it count. In the meantime, is there a third goal in the offing? Well, there should have been.
Playing on the front foot, he's the wing back on the right hand side, and was calm enough to see the goalkeeper approaching, and he looked.
Klangabeza. It hadn't been for the two goals by Makokolo, there might have been a player of the match award for Klangabeza. We've seen nothing of Magidi in the second half. We do see something of Nurkovic. Exceptionally dangerous player in these sort of situations. Quality ball in towards Nurkovic. It is a quality ball too. Didn't quite get the purchase on the swing. Oh, lovely little touch in there as well from Tebogo Mashiko. Mashiko! Unselfish! Oh my goodness gracious me, from Ngwenya.
Yes.
Saving grace.
Yeah. Now look at this.
The miss of the day.
Yeah. Look at his upper body. He's leaning backwards. I don't know when players are going to learn this.
Late corner for Siwelele, and Nurkovic with a challenge on Johnson. They'll get a free kick, I think. Or Darren. The referee's not going to allow it to continue. AmaZulu under pressure in the opening 10 minutes of the match, and slowly but surely they consolidated defensively mostly, and then started to pressurize Siwelele. After 35 minutes, the game changed totally, with Siwelele missing a couple of opportunities through Magidi, and Christian Saile also had a few chances, but AmaZulu then scored before half-time by Makokolo, who scored again in the 72nd minute. Might have even had a hat-trick on the day, but Darren Johnson keeps a clean sheet. AmaZulu back to winning ways. Makokolo, the man of the moment, and Lekla Siyema left